The far-right activist Stephen Yaxley Lennon, better known as Tommy Robinson, was today jailed for 18 months. He'd admitted contempt of court after repeating false claims about a teenage refugee. Well, Garrett Vincent is at Woolwich Crown Court for us this evening. So Garrett, what happened in court?
Well, this hearing, Mary, was the latest turn in a legal process which began some 6 years ago with a video which went viral. It showed a teenage Syrian refugee who was called Jamal Hijazi being attacked at school in Yorkshire. At the time, the man who calls himself Tommy Robinson posted a response to the video claiming that Mr Hijazi was a violent bully who was getting his comeuppance. That claim was not true, and Mr Hijazi brought a successful libel action against Robinson, and the judge in that case told Robinson not to repeat his claims anywhere else or in the future. Well, over the last 2 years, Robinson has been doing exactly that, most notably in a 90-minute film which features to this day prominently on his social media. On Friday, Robinson presented himself at a police station. He presented himself here today in court as a passionate and principled believer in free speech. But the judge reminded him that while he is entitled to criticise a court's decision, Tommy Robinson is not entitled to disobey a court's order. And he noted that Robinson regards himself as above the law. And indeed, when he told the defendant that he could have his sentence reduced if he took down that libelous video from his social media sites, Tommy Robinson looked up at the public gallery where 24 or so of his supporters were sitting, and he shook his head and he mouthed the word no.
I'm cynical. It could start a conspiracy theory. I did I think one of the best episodes yesterday of Absolutely Mental, and we talked about what's the factor now in human evolution. How are we being selected? Because it's obviously no longer, you know, just strength and speed, and it's still passing on your genetic material. But what factors in choosing mates and stuff, and like even social media. We go into it depth. We basically, humans gossip. You know, our evolution is based on it, right? So when we were little tribes, when we first got language, we'd gossip, right? We'd go, he's good at this, he's good at that, right? And that would raise his status, so we'd like him. And it was to control the group, like, he's not pulling his weight. Don't trust him. So that's how we built our, you know, society, really. And then when society got bigger and bigger, we couldn't control them. So that's how sort of organised religion grew, in a way, because we could go, well, you've got, these are the rules for everyone, for all of us, and you know, whatever you do, God's watching you or whatever, and it sort of, again, controlled all the tribes. And there were factors. It was all about status, because we want status. Or in a group, we always want status. Even little kids, they fight over a toy for status. They might not want the toy, but they fight over it. And traditionally, status in a tribe was usually who was the strongest, like violence. But again, with society, we sort of lost that as a factor, and there were two ways you could raise your status. One was be competent at something, be good at something, right? He's brilliant at that, right? He's the best at that, he's done well. The other one was virtue, like, he's not very good at anything, but he is kind, or he is, you know, he is honest, so that would raise your status, right? So, competence and virtue. And even religion gave that to some people, that if you weren't very good at anything, you could still have virtue, right? But with the death of sort of, you know, organised religion, the next big thing for gossip was like journalism. People read papers and trusted them and everything. And with the death of that, now it's sort of social media. But the two factors still remain. In society, you're either good at something, he did this. It's all about reputation to raise your status, because you don't know that, and you don't know the people. You can't know billions of people, so it's reputation. So he did this, he's great at that, or they're virtuous. Now, the thing with social media is, and society, people have realised they can just lie. They don't have to be really virtuous, they can just say they are. And that's what virtue signaling is. So when someone goes online, they're trying to bring someone down. They're going, oh, he did this, I wouldn't do that. Well, we don't know that. So they're pretending they're virtuous, but they're just not. So that's, half the people online, they're just lying. I think it was fascinating. It was just fascinating how that's a new strain, that you can be a social justice warrior and a total hypocrite. You're just bringing people down to raise because you're not competent. You haven't done anything. And that's why you find, like, in any sort of situation, people go after people who have done more than them. Do you know what I mean? You don't see Jerry Seinfeld slagging off new comedians, but you see new comedians or bitter comedians slagging off Jerry Seinfeld, because they haven't achieved, they're not competent like he is, so they're trying to bring him down to raise their status amongst their tribe, their followers. So basically, just be nice. Don't be a cunt. I've always felt like that, and I've never heard anyone put it into words like that. But I've always thought, wonder why people are trying to bring people down. Whereas if they just concentrated on their own career, they'd do better. But they've wasted their careers slagging off people who've achieved more. But they would have achieved more if they hadn't been slagging people off. They would have achieved more.
Tommy Robinson has today been jailed for 18 months after admitting contempt of court in relation to allegations made against a Syrian schoolboy. The former EDL leader was banned from repeating the claims made about refugee Jamal Hijazi, who was beaten up in Huddersfield in 2018. He was previously ordered to pay £100,000 in damages after the 15-year-old successfully sued over videos wrongly claiming he attacked young English girls. But grey-suited Robinson accepted breaching a 2021 High Court injunction 10 times between February 2023 and July of this year. He made further allegations in various podcasts and interviews posted on online platforms like YouTube, X and Rumble. The 41-year-old also repeated the allegations in his 90-minute film Silenced, which was shown to protesters at a demo in Trafalgar Square. Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, was brought to the dock at 10:30 a.m. at Woolwich Crown Court this morning. The hearing was meant to last for 2 days, but early submissions saw him accept that he breached that allegation 10 times. Mr. Justice Jeremy Johnson KC revealed he received an 11th hour email on Sunday night indicating there was a resolution in the civil case. Robinson nodded and replied yes when asked if he admitted all 10 breaches in the 2 contempt of court applications brought against him in July and August. He was jailed for 18 months minus 3 days for the time he spent at Folkestone Police Station over the weekend following his arrest on Friday. Mr. Justice Johnson KC handed down a maximum 2-year sentence for committing contempt of court, but he reduced this due to mitigation and his early guilty plea. He said each individual breach is so serious that a non-custodial sentence could not be justified. The breaches of the junction are so serious that it can only be achieved by immediate custody. There is no realistic prospect of rehabilitation. The judge claimed Robinson regards himself as being above the law and slammed each planned, deliberate and flagrant breach as having a corrosive effect on the administration of justice. Mr. Justice Johnson added, in a democratic society underpinned by the court of law, court injunctions must be obeyed. Nobody is above the law. Nobody can pick and choose which laws and injunctions they obey and which they do not. Aidan Eardley KC for the Solicitor General claimed Robinson showed a clear intention to disobey the order and to keep disobeying it. He said, "This is not a case about Mr. Yaxley's political views or freedom of expression. It's about disobedience and undermining the court of law." Robinson was seen laughing when Mr. Eardley suggested the costs he should pay would amount to £80,000 with £50,000 to be paid on account. He blew a kiss to the public gallery and waved, as he was escorted out of the dock and to the cells next to HMP Belmarsh.
Right, I am sick and tired of the powers that be banning my billboards and adverts.
I want to bring you some breaking news this evening. Police are responding to an incident in Huntingdon where multiple people have been stabbed on a train. This is according to a statement from British Transport Police. Well, this was posted by the British Transport Police on social media. It reads, "We are currently responding to an incident on a train to Huntingdon where multiple people have been stabbed. Officers are in attendance alongside Cambridgeshire Constabulary and 2 people have been arrested."
Let's, Alex, take a look at that video just received by GB News from a user on TikTok on scene as this incident was unfolding. You can see emergency services arriving there, huge emergency service response, and then looking down on the platform itself at Huntingdon Station and that LNER train in at the platform there with, as I say, a very significant emergency service response, not just the police, but lots of ambulances, paramedics there because of the fact that there are multiple people injured, and armed police, you can see very clearly they're running up the platform further down the train to the carriages that are further down the train from which we assume is the front end of the train that is visible there. What we are told by British Transport Police, who put out a statement a short time ago, is that this incident unfolded about 20 to 8 this evening. They confirmed that 2 people have been arrested. Cambridgeshire Constabulary, who are assisting BTP, obviously, as it's happening on the transport network. British Transport Police takes primacy for this, but Cambridgeshire Police are in their very significant numbers. Their armed response units assisting here as well. They have said that multiple people have been taken to hospital after this stabbing incident. So they're the latest video coming in, very dramatic scenes of many emergency services on the scene dealing with this incident. The services through Huntingdon are suspended at the moment, and the main line services, LNER, Thameslink, telling customers to check before travelling tonight.
Just in addition to that, from the London North Eastern Railway, they've also posted a notice saying that due to the emergency services dealing with an incident at Huntingdon, all lines are blocked. Train services running through the station may be delayed. Disruption is expected until the end of the day.
Right, I am fucking sick and tired of the powers that be banning my fucking billboards and adverts for Dutch Barn. Sometimes there's just nothing wrong with them, right? One that was meant for the tube station just had me having a drink and it just said, "One day you'll be underground for good." That was it. They went, "No, can't have that," because it might make people think, oh, because life's short, we should drink to excess. Who's fucking thinking that? Oh my God. Cowardly fucking cunts. Do you think it's my attitude? Oh, but you can't win because, right, you're not allowed to say alcohol's good for you or it does this or it makes you feel confident or it makes you feel attractive, which is fine. I went the other way. There was one advert I was reading from my laptop from government websites just saying about all the dangers of alcohol. They went, "No, we don't like that." Do you know why? Because they don't like the truth either, because that puts off other advertisers, you know? Fuck me. Honestly. So this is what we're going to do. Fuck them, okay? I'm going to sell directly to you. Go to the website, right? Sign up for our mailing list as well, and you can win a year's supply of Dutch Barn. Also, we save donkeys. So, save donkeys, fuck censors, Dutch Barn.
Within 8 minutes of the 999 call being made, 2 men were brought into police custody, where they remain this morning. I can tell you that these are the first male, a 32-year-old male, a black British national, and a 35-year-old man, a British national of Caribbean descent. They were both arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Both were born in the United Kingdom. As stated, they remain this morning in separate police stations for questioning.
What happened was I was in Coach G and there was quite a few people coming through Coach G, and one of the people that were coming through, I had my headphones on, then heard them say, they've got a knife, I've been stabbed. And then when looking up, so they were making their way through the carriage to get away from the incident, from the suspect. They were extremely bloodied. That person ended up, when we pulled in, they were basically on the floor. We couldn't progress further down the train away from the suspect because that person ended up collapsing on the floor. So they were taken into an ambulance pretty much straight away. I think the driver did the right thing when we called the emergency or contact to let the driver know that something's going on. He pulled into Huntingdon, which is the right thing. Couldn't stop anywhere because anything could have happened. It was the right thing. We were ushered out of the station from the platform, and there was multiple people that had been stabbed that was making their way down, but the suspect had also come off the train as well. So while we were being told to come out of the station, the suspect was obviously running rampant as well, and I don't know reason. No one knows the reason why. The people that did witness it have actually gone off to the HQ. They were taken with the statements have been taken, and they are now going to the police station to give further statements. The armed police were pointing to the suspect as we come off the train. I asked what that suspect looked like. They said it's a black male in all black, so a black hoodie. And then at the back of the station, he's walking calmly. As the police were coming through, like armed police, I said, I think that's the guy. And essentially, as they got closer to him, they started shouting, like, get down, get down. He then was waving a knife, quite a large knife. And then they detained him. I think it was a taser that got him down in the end. But I only saw one person at that point. I did not see anyone get stabbed, but there was a lot of people being moved away from being treated for injuries and coming away with the trolleys. I'd say probably maybe 12 people in total. Initially, it looked like there was only about 4, maybe 6 that had been stabbed. But maybe when we was coming up the train, I think they doubled back and just attacked anyone that they could. I don't know if it was staff or passengers.
David Bowie, obviously, of Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars, actually. So, all inclusive. How are you? Seinfeld or Curb? Love them both. I mean, I think Curb is a bit more, it pushes it a little bit more, but Seinfeld, no slouch. Both great. It's not a competition. Right, questions. From straight away. Now, I'm not going to get to all of these. I've got hundreds. So I sort of find them and put them in on a little list, and I just go through them. So I won't get to all of them. So apologies. Eyes are stinging. Yes, I had a hot bath with bubbles. I didn't have a bath with bubbles. Me and Michael Jackson's chimp. I meant with right, Joey the cat. What's your favourite thing about Liverpool? It's difficult to say. I've only played it a couple of times. I'm playing it a third time, but I don't really see the city, particularly when I'm there for one night, which I often am. So of what I've seen, the best thing about Liverpool was the audience. They were fantastic. Listen, all audiences are great. But yeah, there's certain places that seem to be one louder. Dublin. First time I played Dublin, definitely seemed louder. So, yeah, I think the crowd, and they're all about that, aren't they? They're all about entertainment and comedy, and also I think that it's a real place, sort of real people doing real jobs, and you know what I mean. So I think humour is sort of in their blood. So yeah, I'd say the audiences. I could be talking. I don't know. Some people go, no, the best thing about Liverpool is the pubs or something. I don't know. I haven't seen those, but I really like playing there. Keena, where do you get your inspiration when it comes to creating the female characters in your shows and movies? I mean, the answer is always real life. I mean, you can ask me any question about my influences, comedy, stand-up, films. It's always real life first, isn't it? And I particularly like realism, and I particularly like writing about ordinary people and real things. I don't really do fantastical stuff. I mean, I love it. I love sci-fi and things like that. But I sort of do. I do modern dramas about ordinary people mostly. It's all about the human condition. All my stuff is about things that are great about us and bad about us. I laugh at humanity, good bits and bad bits. So, and I was brought up with and by women, really. I think I saw my mum 10 times more than my dad, if you know what I mean. He was out all day, and I had a sister who she taught me to read at 3. I mean, I think my nieces outweigh my nephews by about 5 or 10 to 1, and all my family were sort of carers. So like Derek, I got from them. Also, I like. I've always thought that often in films, rom-coms, Hollywood rom-coms, sitcoms, women are usually props for men. Men are the ones that get the best lines, or if a woman get the best lines, it's because they're dim, or you know what I mean. So I've always been careful to show that women are 3-dimensional, and particularly stuff like Derek and Afterlife. I like that women are sort of lionesses, that they're doing the work. They're doing as much work as men, and they don't get time off because they're sort of keeping the world together. But yeah, like Hannah, I made her nice and empathetic and caring, but she didn't mind people. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. My computer's died. There it is. It didn't die, it's just that all the buttons have gone wrong. I think it's like breakfast. Crumbs in the computer, the key stick. That space bar I have to press really hard. So some of I'm writing, I'm not looking, my sentences are all one fucking word. So I have to go back, fucking press the space bar a bit more carefully. It's definitely a fucking crumb or something. Jessie Cat. Yeah. My question is, if you were a cat, which part of your body would you enjoy washing the most? For me, oh, you are a cat, I see. For me, it's definitely my front right paw. Well, yeah, but you have to do that, don't you? Because you're not just washing that, you're using that as a sort of flannel or a loofah. Like, there's bits that you wash, and then you wash your paw, but then you use your paw to do your ears, don't you? So I think I'd say ears, because I think a cat looks cool when it does that. You know what I mean? You don't look so cool when you're trying to do your back or you're going forward. Would I have my back or a cat's back. Because if I was a cat and I had my back, there's bits of me that would never get washed. Yeah, if I was a cat, I think behind the ears. I'd have the cleanest ears. Normal. Sharon Midnight Moon. Have you performed at an open air stadium before? I'm doing the Hollywood Bowl. If yes, how did you find the atmosphere? If you know, are you worried it will affect the atmosphere? Thank you. I'm worried about so much stuff. I haven't really. I have played open air things at stadiums and festivals before, but not as me as the only act. I've been, you know. So this is the first time that I've sold it out and it's just me. But yeah, I am worried. I was worried about everything. I was worried about it raining. My promoter said, it hasn't rained for 3 fucking years when we booked it in LA. I'm worried about, can they hear at the back if the wind changes? I'm worried about all these things. I'm worried about I can do a sound check, but it'd be light when I check all the lights and stuff, and then it'd be dark. So what if I get out there and I've got it wrong and it's dark, but the floodlights are in my face and I can't see? So yes, I do worry about everything. I'm trying to stop doing that because I try and have a plan B, C, and D. I can't. I think the world's out to, you know, get me. And what I've got to do is think I'll do that, and if something goes wrong, I don't care. But you can't make yourself. You can't make yourself be what you're not. Do you know what I mean? So yes, I worry about everything. I worry about things that you're just ridiculous. I worry about 1,000 to 1 shots. But I'm looking forward to it. I've just got to do it and enjoy it, and be about the event. So yeah. If Joette, if you could bring back one of your former child cats. If you could bring back one of your former cats to be Pickle's friend, which would you choose and why? Oh God, they're all lovely. Okay, I've got a decision. I've got a reason. I think I'd have to bring back Colin because we didn't have him long enough. We rescued him, and I think he died about like 4 or 5. He had a little brain hemorrhage, so he didn't live long enough for my liking. So I'd bring back Colin, the big, fat, dim, black and white thing. I'm saying it's she. It was a she. I think every cat we've had is a she with a boy's name. Wilf, Colin, Ollie, and is Ollie? Can Ollie be a girl's name? Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. And Pickle. That's not really a gendered name at all, is it? Pickle. It's got male connotations. So yeah, Andy Hughes. What is your favourite venue you have played, either here or abroad? Can't wait to see you in Liverpool. Liverpool's getting a few mentions, isn't it? I love the warm-ups. I love the Leicester Square Theatre. It's only 400. I do all my warm-ups there, and that's great. That's just a really great venue that's all packed. I don't think you can beat a Victorian theatre of most sizes. They're all packed in. It's all soft furnishings like velvet. It's all, you know. I like it dark. I like it blackout. I can't see the audience. I have the lights on, and that seems the best. But I like playing the big places as well. And I probably play more of those abroad than here because I can only go for one night, if you know what I mean. So I try and venues. If it's just about the venue, I think the Olympia in Paris is pretty magical. I can't put my finger on it why. I think those rock and roll venues are great. Massey Hall in Toronto was amazing. So yeah, but I only go to places I love, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Victorian theatres are still the best. But the stadiums have got bigger now. The arenas and whatever, they've got better now. The sound's better. They've got huge screens. They're better than they were. Meg, are the Foxes back? Any minute now, I reckon. I think we heard them mating a few weeks ago, and like last year they just appeared as like, I don't know, 4 weeks old. I don't know. So I think hopefully we're gonna see some tiny little cubs soon. I'll keep you posted. Sue, question request. You can choose. Please can you tell an old 70s joke, or play the guitar, or in a drain for whole time's sake. No, if you if you just tuned in and you've seen someone requesting me do in a drain, what must you be thinking? I can't play the guitar. It's there. I'll have to turn round. An old 70s joke. Oh God, an old 70s joke. Like a silly, childish one. The chicken who went to the library, and he went up to the counter, and the librarian went, "It's weird, chicken in the library," and the chicken went, "Buck, buck, 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 buck." So this is not like my stand-up, by the way. Right? And the librarian went, "Weird, but you wanted the book." Chicken gets the book and goes off. Comes back the next day, puts the book down, and he goes, "Buck, buck, 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 buck." Librarian wants another book. So I gave him another book, and he goes off. Next day he comes back, puts the book back, right? And goes, "Buck, buck, 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 buck." And the librarian, he goes up, the librarian goes, "I'm going to follow him, see what he's doing with these books." So the librarian sort of follows him. The chicken's going along with his book. He follows him down the road, across a field, through the woods, goes to a sort of pond, and there's a frog. And the chicken gives him the book, and the frog goes, "Read it." All right? Good. Right. Glenn, would you do a Vegas residency for a year? No way. Instead of touring. Oh. I suppose, actually, that's quite a good idea, isn't it? So they all come to me. I don't move for a year. You can just pop down every night from your penthouse. Jane and Pickle go with you. Well, if I was there for a year, I wouldn't live in a hotel. I'd rent a house or something. A year's a long time, just doing it. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, I could maybe do it for a month. One day, maybe. I don't think you understand how lazy and tired I am. But I like the idea. This is how lazy I've got, right? This time, right, after COVID and after I'd got the Supernature filmed and all that, I thought I'd got to start again. I actually thought, what if I bought a theatre or built a theatre in Hampstead? I actually started looking if there's a building I could convert into a theatre and just play there every night. There wasn't. But anyway, it was a thought, wasn't it? Maybe one day. Ollie Afterlife. We all know you as a writer, director, comedian and animal advocate. But tell us about you as a painter, your style, your process, your thing. I'm not a painter. I'm just not. I'm embarrassed. I've done a few paintings. And, I mean, 1 in 10 I might like and put up, and I'll go over until I find it, but it's pretty random. I've got no skill, or I mean, I've got a bit of a style. I've got the things I like. I like sort of nearly abstract, and I like Turnery type colours and dark sort of ominous. But honestly, if it comes out right, it's luck. But I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's like chess. I like it when it goes well, and then I can, why did I do that? That's rubbish. What annoys me is I haven't got the skill to put on the canvas what's in my head. So it's sort of luck. But yeah, I enjoy it. Betsy the Rescue Beagle. Here's my question. I'm fascinated by the long railway line in your short film. I post a little picture, I'm doing a short film. Well, I've done it. I'm editing it tomorrow. I would love to know what you're planning. Is it one of those silent movies where people travel up and down the railways, like one of those things? No, it's just a short film. It's 10 minutes. I won't spoil it, but I really enjoyed it. In fact, that's another thing I was thinking. Maybe we could just do short films because it's only one day filming. It's called 7 minutes, so look out for it. But yeah, it's fun. Right. Question: Gonzo the cat. What does Weetabix and water taste like? Hashtag Afterlife. In Afterlife, my character, he's got the end of the sort of Weetabix, whatever it is, all that stuff at the bottom, and he's got no milk, and he just puts water on it, and I drank it for real. Obviously, it doesn't taste of much actually. It's horrible though because it's the texture. It's like cold, so it's sort of like a cross between sawdust and wet biscuit. You know when you've been dunking biscuits and it's dropped off and you didn't know it, and then you drink the last bit of tea and the biscuit goes down. It's like that. Again, I don't know if everyone around the world dunks biscuits and then drops one without knowing and then drinks their tea with a biscuit in it. I'm sure that must have happened to everyone. I used to get through a packet of biscuits by myself. When I was on the dole, I used to go to the shop and get a packet of like custard creams or hobnobs if I could afford them, and have a cup of tea. I'd get through a whole packet. I know what you're thinking. Rick, you're an athlete. How did you keep your figure? Don't know. Once, right, I think someone asked me that question, and I said, I'd like to be thrown to the lions at London Zoo, and just see loads of sort of tourists going, is that the bloke from The Office? Just naked and then pulling his apart, right? Anyway, a journalist must have been listening, and so like a few weeks later, there was a story in the paper, and the headline was something like, London Zoo refused Ricky Gervais' permission to be thrown to the lions. Like I was serious. So this journalist said, he must have known I wasn't serious, right? But he called up London Zoo and asked them if I'd be allowed to do that. And they said, no, of course not. So it made me look like a fucking maniac. Like, I seriously... I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if that's what happened. It might be a good idea. I mean, the thing wrong with that is that lions shouldn't be in zoos. That's the main thing about that. Don't put fucking lions in zoos. But, yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck if I was... But I wasn't serious, was I? Fucking hell. You gotta watch what you say. I should, really, shouldn't I? I should try that one day. I should try watching what I say. See how that works out. Right. The Mel Toffee and Fudge. If a member of the royal family wanted to come to one of your gigs, who would you like to come, Mr. Ricky? Well, they have actually. William and Harry came to one. I think Harry's been to more than one. I think he's been to 2 or 3. And I remember once he brought William along, and we had a drink after and everything. Yeah, one gig, it was William and Harry, at the back, right? William and Harry, with their 7 security, Madonna and Paul McCartney. Not one of them paid. Right. Yeah, we've got through this, haven't we? Leopold and Loveday. Look, we're on Lions and Tigers. Lion versus Tiger. Who wins? Oh, God. Like Derek. Who would win out of a lion and a tiger? What? Who would win out of a hippo and a rhinopotamus? What? Who would win out of a mammoth and a tractor? If a mammoth was angry. What? Who would win? Who would win out of a whale and 3 sharks? Don't know. Who would win out of a lion and a tiger? Oh, I think tigers might be slightly bigger. And, I don't know. Lions, aren't male lions a bit lazier than, don't they let the females do the hunting, they just sit back? Maybe the male tiger's a bit fitter. He's a bit more, you know what I mean? The lion might be a bit ring rusty. He hasn't had a fight for a while. I mean, I don't know why they meet. Who's arranging this? Don King. Who's? There probably is somewhere where they do that, isn't there? They probably did it in the Roman times, didn't they? They used to have all sorts of things for each other. Neither of them would come off really well, would they? Neither of them would. It wouldn't be one punch and you're out. I think they'd probably both die of their injuries, but I suppose who gets the neck first, isn't it? I'm taking this way too seriously. I'd go the tiger if I'm right in that they're a bit bigger. But my advice is don't f animals for a laugh. Well, that was an absolute load of bollocks, as promised. Old time's sake, innit? Me wiping my eyes after a bubble bath. Not a bath with bubbles. Good. Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket. Absolutely mental. As I've tweeted, I never take it for granted. To sell out arenas in your own country is one thing, but to sell them out around the world, that is really fucking mental. I can't believe the response. I can't believe that they sell out in minutes and people want another one. It's absolutely amazing. Incredible. I never take it for granted. I always want to get the gig, the show so good. It's going really well. It's funny, isn't it? You play arenas around the world. You play to like hundreds of thousands of people every year, right, around the world. It goes great. They love it. Everyone there loves it. They paid their money and they love it. And then some snotty fucker in a posh paper goes, bit lazy. This has just sat down. He's thought about it for about 20 minutes. 3 stars. You can. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
She was, as woke as they are.
She just sounds bitter and angry.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't think they're going to watch it. I don't think they're going to like it.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings. I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
I don't need your business.
Thanks.
You know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
If Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea.
Free will is an illusion, yeah, because everything, even behaviour, every thought, every emotion, derives from what went before. I agree, determinism, yeah. If that is true, no one is accountable for their actions. Yeah, that's true. But then the quantum leap people make is, well, if no one's responsible for their actions, everyone should be able to do anything they want. That's not true, because a bear isn't responsible for its actions, is it? If a bear, if you're in the wild and you go up to a bear and whack it and it eats you, that's not responsible. It's a bear. That's why it does that. So we act accordingly. We stay away from bears. So it doesn't mean that anyone, because they're not responsible, you can't just let a serial killer run around because he wants to. We have to do something to protect other people, because we've invented human rights. But yeah, it's a hell of an illusion though, free will. I mean, you can't get around it. It's impossible to imagine that you haven't got free will. Because it's not whether you can make a choice, because everyone feels they can make a choice. Lift your right arm up or your left arm up, that one. But it's you couldn't choose your choice, because you couldn't even choose the question, you couldn't choose the bit before, you couldn't choose cause and effect. So you can't choose. We're sort of like vessels. But that doesn't mean that morality doesn't exist, because that's the thing we've created and we like, because we feel that we want to live. I mean, even creativity. You can't sit down and go, right, I'm gonna write a joke about. You can't choose your thoughts. But what you can do is go, right, I'm not going to answer the fucking door. I'm going to put headphones in. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to make myself an available vessel for an idea.
And accusing Disney of inserting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. No, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
These big bad feminists now are telling us that's ridiculous. How dare you want to meet a handsome prince and be swept off of your feet and live happily ever after? No, you should want to be the prince. You should want to go out and fight the bad guys with a sword.
It's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
They have been making this film for a very long time because it's just been so scandalized. And so they had to basically put it on ice after people were firstly outraged by Rachel Zegler speaking ill about the prior film, the film that she was remaking.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you? Oh my God. Are you Disney? I've read your book, and I have. It's a phenomenal book. You're losing generation of loyal viewers. When you think about Snow White, what is the premise? What is the story?
It's a love story. It's a love story.
Interview clip that you read the quote from, but she's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy. She doesn't like the prince. She thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress. She should get paid for streaming for every hour she has to wear the dress. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you.
I always think that about those sort of things. Like, we go back in time and witness that, but in real time it might be I always think there's scientific ones, like I think I've talked about this before, like when Einstein came up with E equals MC squared, but he probably did that over months. I'm sort of like I'm invisible ghost in his study, am I, when he's fucking there for days. He's going E equals, I'm going MC fucking squared, but he can't hear me. And he has a little wank break. I'm going, fucking hell. Fuck's sake. Oh, God. Einstein, he probably had to, you know what I mean? It's going, oh, I've been fucking thinking all day. Have a little bit of me time. Oh, God. Right. George Clooney definitely wouldn't talk about Einstein having a little wank between E equals MC squared. Right. Oh.
Then they got even crazier and they decided that the dwarves in Snow White weren't woke enough, okay?
These are roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me.
Right.
And now it's taken away. I don't feel that's right.
Did the dwarfs make it or no?
Well, the CGI dwarfs did. Of course, that goes back to the original controversy where Peter Dinklage, a very talented little person actor, said, why are we doing that? We've hired a Latina actress to be Snow White. That's progressive. But you're going to hire little people to play the dwarfs? That just seems like a step backwards. And then, of course, Disney instantly buckled and said, okay, we're going to add magical creatures.
One of them. Fucking hell, this was a load of bollocks, wasn't it? This is like being in a mental home. No offence. Right, there you go. That's another load of bollocks. I hope you enjoyed that. There's Can of Water. Buy Can of Water. That's quite a serious thing actually, because they're made from aluminium, so it's 100% recyclable, and we're trying to stop people use plastic bottles. Not only do you get loads of fucking nano plastics in your fucking brain, right, but people, they don't recycle it, they throw it in the oceans and it's clogging it up. Whereas this is 100% recyclable and sort of inert and everything. So, yeah, buy Can of Water. And Dutch Barn. Cheers, everyone. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye. Tatty bye.
What happened in Tel Aviv? Because you said that you'll never go back because
I can't go back to Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv was just a bit intense. It was really intense.
You also said you like your racist, right?
Yeah, I like my racist.
What happened in Tel Aviv? Because you said that you'll never go back because they were racist.
I can't go back to Tel Aviv.
You banned from the country?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not banned from the country. Tel Aviv was just a bit intense. It was really intense. At the same time, like, I'm an American, I've experienced racism going to Kmart
all day, right?
You know, like it's nothing new, but I guess it's just like shit. This is a new kind of racism, you know. I don't really know how to.
What happened?
Just everywhere I went, there was just looks. Went into a restaurant, people would be like I'd come in and they'd be like, oh, hold on a second, you know, just kind of like showing on their face that they needed to go like get their mind together before they served Black people. There was only we only ate in one restaurant. The other restaurants we went to, like, I had to suck it up because I was hungry, you know, but every other restaurant we went to, the people were just kind of like, ugh, like, what are you doing here? Then in the airport, it was just like, you know, the people are like working for the airline were just clearly giving me and my security guard a hard time. I was seeing a lot of people with UK passport, white people with UK passports just passing through. And just the vibe I got was very, like, unwelcoming. And yeah, it kind of just gets to a point where you're just like, fuck, damn, I'm a here too? Shit. I'd rather just go home and be a at home.
Is there any place you've ever gone that you felt, I guess, less racism or no racism at all?
I'm watching the abuse that Azalea Banks is getting on Twitter, and I'm thinking to myself, this is why Israel has no friends. This is why Israel is incredibly unpopular online. You have a very famous musician from the United States who's taken a very unpopular stance, who's decided to come to Israel, come and support Israel, and she interfaces with the country on her own terms. And suddenly that's not good enough. And now every single person sees fit to hurl abuse at one of the very few people who's actually been supportive of the country. And I just can't help but think to myself, this is why you have no friends, right? This is why this whole Hasbara thing makes no sense. These people are some of the most toxic people online. And with friends like these, who really needs enemies?
Remember when I said all the celebrities who are selling out to Israel the hardest are the ones who are absolutely failing in their professional careers? Yeah, well, this is what rapper Azalea Banks looks like during her concerts now. She decided to become a full-time Zionist mouthpiece for God knows how much money. And you know what's funny is that Azalea Banks once slammed the Israelis for being racist and vowed never to return. She said everybody in Israel was very rude and she would not come back unless it was for some real money. So basically an admittance that she's getting paid good money to do this clown shit. This is the cost of selling your soul, everybody. And it makes perfect sense. She definitely needed this cash because her rap career was in the tubes. Everybody in the music industry recognizes that Azalea Banks is talented, but nobody wants to work with her because her personality sucks so bad. People like Lady Gaga have said she's just impossible to work with. She also posted a video of herself once sacrificing live chickens in her closet at home. Yeah, there's just a lot of reasons why people don't like this lady. But Israel's desperate at this point. They'll take any American celebrity they can get, and they'll pay as much money as they need to. Although that money's probably coming from the American government in the first place.
One, I don't live amongst celebrities. I mean, I know some, but I don't live among. I make sure I don't. I try to, and I take that as a compliment, that I do stay connected with ordinary people. I mean, also, I do know some celebrities, but they're not all celebrities are out of touch. Some are nice people, some have always been nice, some probably went through it and come out the other side. They might have been arseholes and now, you know. So it depends, but I really don't think of I do not hang around with celebrities once or twice a year. I was famous late, which helps. So I knew who I was. I had all my, priorities and values together. I mean, I imagine being famous at 18. How can you not be an arsehole? So there's that. In fact, I feared being famous. I hated the term. I mean, it's still an awful term, celebrity, but I feared it because I didn't want to be lumped in with those people that do anything to be famous. So I was quite militant about it, that, I was famous for something. Fame was an upshot of what I did, writing and directing. Not going to premieres of films that I wasn't in, not doing every celebrity fucking game show on telly. I think that worked well. I didn't want anyone to think I signed that deal with the devil. Make me famous and you can go through my bins. So, I've always done this as a job to get a good lifestyle, which had nothing to do with that. Because you have got to stay connected with ordinary things, ordinary people, everyday life. Otherwise, it's horrible. It's, I've done things about fame, but they're usually spoofing it and damning it. And it's about I have studied. The Office was sort of a study in fame. an ordinary person, you know, from those quaint docusoaps. But it was really about real people. You know, my experience of working in an office for 10 years, that came first. And it was the vehicle for it, really, the fake documentary. And once people knew that David Brent was an ordinary guy who wanted to be famous because he thought it would make him happy, it comes to life. But you've got to try and keep low status. So, like in my new stand-up, I just don't talk about celebrity stuff much. I have to go back. I go back to childhood and school and family, so people relate it. The thing is about comedy is, particularly in stand-up, you've got to try and keep your low status. We're court jesters. We're meant to be down in the mud with the other peasants, teasing the king. Not too much, so you don't get executed. So that's the idea. But of course, I also want to tell the truth. So I can't go up there and pretend I had a bad day signing on the tube, or they go, fuck off. You fucking got a limo here, you lying bastard. So I can't do that. So what I do is I invite them in behind the curtain. I go, right, I'll do it in two ways. One, I go, what do you think, it's all fun and games being, look at the shit things that still happen, you know. And two, I do it by talking about things where the audience is better off than me. They're not as fat and old and bald and angry as me, you know. I'm going to die before them. So that's why I embrace those sort of things, because you've got to try and, you can't be above it. You can't go out there. There's nothing more boring than telling someone what a great fucking day you've had. Oh, shut the fuck up. Those people that go, oh, this holiday was so much better than yours. Keep it to yourself.